Imagine a planet where in just one day the temperature jumps from a scalding 2000 degrees Fahrenheit to a freezing -400. Now imagine a celestial body covered by one vast ocean, 1,000 miles deep. How could such worlds exist, and what if life originated on them? In this video, you're gonna learn not only about that, but also about the largest planet that is 17 times larger than Earth, the hottest and coldest worlds known to science, and the mysterious exoplanet that is literally made of diamonds. And also the oldest planet in the universe, whose age is almost comparable to time itself. Let's get started. One of the most distant and coldest exoplanets currently known to science, whose surface temperature can drop to -364 degrees Fahrenheit. And its name is OGLE 2005 BLG 390 LB. For reference, the lowest possible temperature, called absolute zero, is -459.6 degrees, which makes this planet almost completely frozen with a snowy desert, with a thickness of ice covering its entire surface. And even at such a great distance, it's interesting from a scientific point of view not only for its extreme climate, but also for something else. Some hypotheses suggest that such planets could have subsurface oceans heated by internal heat sources, which opens up the prospect of finding life in such extreme environments. Just imagine if life exists in such a seemingly inappropriate world. Another harsh planet is HD 80606b, with a temperature even closer to absolute zero, -400 degrees Fahrenheit. But is this fact alone interesting? Of course not, because for example OGLE has such a cold climate on a regular basis. But this celestial body, thanks to its unusual highly eccentric orbit, has extreme temperature variations of more than 2000 degrees Fahrenheit. The planet's orbit is so elongated that the planet spends most of its year far from its star, and then makes a sharp approach to it, raising temperatures to truly hellish levels. On average, when HD 80606b is at its minimum distance from its star, the surface can heat up to 17,000 degrees. But what's really surprising is the rate of change. We may not believe it, but this kind of heating and cooling happens not in months, weeks, or even days, but in a matter of hours. So this planet offers a unique opportunity to study extreme weather events and how planetary atmospheres can adapt to such extreme conditions. And if we're talking about icy worlds, it's worth mentioning Gliese 436b. It's one of the most unique worlds in space known to astronomers, not because it has ice on its surface, but because its surface temperature is 15,000 degrees Fahrenheit. But how is that possible? It happens because it's not ordinary ice. Thanks to incredibly high pressure, the planet's water is in a solid state, despite being hot enough to vaporize. Scientists call this phenomenon hot ice. Gliese 436b, orbiting a red dwarf, is about 30 light-years away from Earth, making it a relatively close exoplanet. This allows for more detailed studies. Scientists are actively studying its atmosphere with telescopes such as Hubble, and the results of these studies may provide new insights into the composition of its atmosphere and internal processes. Now, moving away from the icy planets, we move on to the blazing worlds. In the next couple of minutes, you're gonna find out what planets have hotter surfaces than stars, what planet 11 times the size of Jupiter literally vaporizes right in space, where it rains glass, and where the mantle itself is made of diamonds. As we begin to talk about these bizarre planets, the first planet we'll focus on is WASP-12b. The planet belongs to the so-called hot Jupiters, similar in mass and size to the largest planet in the solar system, and is incredibly close to its star, making a full revolution in just one day. This short orbital period results in intense interaction between the planet and its star, heating this celestial body to hellish temperatures exceeding 4,500 degrees Fahrenheit. Being so close to its star, its atmosphere is literally eaten away by the stellar wind. And the process is so intense that scientists expect the planet to disappear completely in a few million years, leaving behind only remnant of gas. studies show that the planet has already lost much of its atmosphere, and astronomers are actively observing this process, trying to understand how tidal forces can affect the evolution of exoplanets. But even with this climate, WASP-12b is still not the record holder for temperature. That title is confidently taken by Kepler-70b, a world often referred to as a planet survivor because it survived the stage when its star became a red giant and swelled to enormous size. But that's not what's impressive. What impressive is that the temperature of its surface is 12,500 degrees Fahrenheit. Not even some stars have such a high degree. For example, the heat on the surface of the Sun reaches only 10,000 degrees, which is already very high. So the fact itself that such a planet exists is already very surprising. Also, while Earth completes one revolution in 365 days, this exoplanet takes only 5 hours, making it one of the fastest rotating planets known. And this extraordinary proximity to its star calls into question the possibility of an atmosphere, any solid rocky soil, or even magma oceans on its surface. And now, having talked about the coldest and the hottest planet, we turn our gaze 63 light-years away to the planet HD 189733c. One word: wind. More specifically, some of the most extreme winds we know of, with an average speed of 5,500 miles per hour. By comparison, the average speed of air currents on Earth is only 7.4 miles per hour. These values exceed the speed of even sound. Therefore, such super winds can destroy any structure and create unique conditions on the surface. But that's not all. HD 189733c is supposedly raining glass. Because of the unusual chemical composition of the planet's atmosphere, the raindrops may be composed of silicate, which when falling, forms shards of glass that travel at incredible speeds. HD 189733c's dense atmosphere is made up of hydrogen, methane, and helium, making it extremely hostile to any form of life as we know it. This very unusual weather can surprise you, but not too much because glass is a familiar material in our lives. So we want to show you a planet that also has a transparent crystalline rock, but much more valuable. 55 Cancri E is a celestial body that is valued at $26.9 million. Don't even know such a number? That's okay, because in the real world it's rare to find numbers that big. And for reference, this amount is 269 quadrillion times the sum of all the money on Earth. But where did this exoplanet get its value from? There's a research of the scientists who, after studying the atmosphere, concluded that 55 Cancri E itself may consist of a large amount of carbon, which means that there are huge deposits of diamonds there. On one hand, that's cool, but on the other hand, an entire diamond planet is literally burning up because of its proximity to the star, with an average temperature of 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. What's more, this planet is not that far away from us. By space standards, of course, only 40 light-years from Earth. What do you know about Saturn? Do you think it's majestic and truly gigantic? What if we told you that it has an older brother whose rings are 200 times bigger than Saturn's rings? Planet J1407b is a gas giant that orbits a star about 400 light-years away and has an entire system of rings measuring 74.5 million miles, which is almost the same distance from the Sun to Earth. Just imagine how big that is. And if this planet were to replace Saturn, its rings could be seen from Earth with the naked eye. The system itself consists of more than 30 separate rings, each millions of miles wide. These rings are thought to contain vast amount of dust, rock, and ice, and some of them may even form satellites, moons, during their evolutionary development. But let's talk about something a little calmer, and maybe even something that might be suitable for us to colonize. What will be the first key point for the origin of life, in your opinion? I'm sure you've answered water. And while the Earth's surface is 75% covered by oceans, and even that is fairly shallow, somewhere in the constellation of Serpenter there's a unique planet. an entire water world covered by one giant ocean thousands of miles deep. Located at a fairly close distance, only 40 light-years away, GJ1214b has a dense atmosphere which stabilizes its temperature, keeping it at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Such data makes the exoplanet a target for intense research, as watery worlds, in addition to radiation-protecting atmospheres, warm climates, could be potential candidates for the search for life. Well, we've found one of our options for relocation, and now we're moving on to the depths of space. Do you see anything besides starlight? No? This is the planet TRAS-2b, the darkest planet known to astronomers today. It's so black that it absorbs more than 99% of the light falling on its surface, making it virtually invisible in the midst of space, while Earth absorbs only 65–70% of the light from its star. Although scientists do not fully understand why this planet is so dark, but it's assumed that it's due to the absence of clouds and the unusual chemical composition of its atmosphere. The planet is similar in mass and size to Jupiter, but unlike Jupiter's bright atmosphere, its surface absorbs almost all light, making it as black as coal, and more like vantablack, a substance made of carbon nanotubes that is the darkest material today. TRAS-2b is not completely devoid of light. The planet emits a faint red glow due to the heating of its atmosphere, which reaches temperatures of 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. This makes for a truly dark and ominous scene, with fiery reflections breaking through the dark, light-absorbing atmosphere. Now, deep in the Milky Way, we find ourselves in a place of uncharted worlds, and just one of them is a true giant among exoplanets. HD 106906b is as much as 11 times more massive than Jupiter, the largest planet in the solar system, and is in an extremely distant orbit from its star, at a distance of 650 astronomical units. That's 15 times farther than Pluto is from the Sun. Just think of how far that is. With modern spacecraft, it takes months and years to fly to Mars, Jupiter, and obviously Pluto, and it would take 192 years to get there. Such a giant orbit amazes scientists because it simply doesn't fit typical dynamical models of planet formation. Interestingly, scientists speculate that HD 106906b could have been thrown into such a distant orbit by some gravitational interaction with other planets or stars. This planet provides a unique opportunity to study processes that may occur in planetary systems that are in the stage of gravitational instability. And speaking of giant planets, we know one rule. In case of huge mass exceeding the Earth's mass by 10 times, the planet will surely be a gas planet, right? Generally, yes, but as we have realized, not always. In 2014, the exoplanet Kepler-10c was discovered, one of the most interesting celestial bodies called Mega-Earth. It's 17 times heavier than Earth and almost 2.3 times its size, which already explains its name, and should have already made the planet a gas giant like Neptune or Jupiter. But Kepler-10c is made entirely of rock and metals. This discovery has changed our understanding of the possible sizes of rocky planets. During the video, we discussed many fascinating worlds, and you even managed to get a little old, and we hope, of course, it wasn't for nothing. But have you ever wondered which planet is the oldest in the universe? Here's Methuselah, named after the long-lived biblical figure for being one of the oldest known exoplanets. It's estimated to be an incredible 13 billion years old, making it almost the same age as the universe itself. To get an even better idea of how old it is, the Sun is 4.6 billion years old. Also special about the planet is its unique star system. Methuselah orbits around two stars, a neutron star and a white dwarf, and is located in the globular star cluster Messier 4, which is itself an ancient star system. The neutron star around which the planet orbits is the result of a supernova explosion, and the white dwarf is the remnant of a star that has exhausted its fuel. This combination makes Methuselah an extremely rare object that provides an example of how planets can survive in extremely turbulent and challenging environments. Looking at all these incredible worlds, extreme in temperature, unique in their properties, truly explosive to the imagination, one can't help but wonder, are there planets that are ideal for life? And not only for extraterrestrial beings, but also for us, humans. We too have asked ourselves this question and have prepared a separate video for you, where you'll discover potential candidates for colonization. Imagine a whole star system in which, out of 7 planets, 3 exoplanets in the neighborhood of each other are inhabited with 80% probability. What if there are entire water worlds and planets covered with endless forests? Click the link and come with us on a journey to these amazing corners of the universe.